Yeller Alex Roger here in this random old manufacturing plant in Boston, Massachusetts. We're here on vacation. This video has absolutely nothing to do with Boston or manufacturing. It has to do with my family's net worth. But I figure this is a cool location and I want to shoot another YouTube video, so let's do it here. So 2 weeks ago, I shared with you all my family's salary and how we break it down into the budget. But I couldn't help but feel like there's a bit of an elephant in the room that I wanted to address as we get started on this journey, sharing my family's perspective on how we earn, spend, and invest our money. And I gotta say, it's crazy to say, but how can my family's net worth be $1,900,180 on a $65,000 salary in San Francisco? Blows my mind. But that's what we're gonna cover today. Before we jump in, I just wanna share how excited I am by all the support everyone has shown this channel over the past few weeks. I'm gonna make a few videos per week sharing my family's perspective on how we earn, spend, and invest our money. So please, if you want to, subscribe down below and invite your friends and family or anybody who you think would like to join a community of people who are trying to live with purpose and at the same time limit the amount of financial stress and anxiety that they're going through along the way. So that's my goal with this channel. Smash the like button, smash the subscribe button, invite your friends and family. Let's build a real community here. Now let's jump into how the heck my family's net worth is $1,900,180. And it's nothing weird. You know, in the last video I shared that my family and my parents actually pay for my cell phone still. No, I'm not like a trust fund baby or anything like that, but it will take jumping into what we saw in the beginning of the video, which is the definition of what is a net worth, and that is the sum of all your assets minus liabilities. The thing is, let's dive into the asset category a little bit more. When it comes to assets, you actually have two types of assets. You have liquid assets and illiquid assets, and that's what this video is really all about. For liquid assets, it just means that you can convert those assets to cash or cash equivalent relatively quickly. Whereas on the illiquid assets, it means you basically at this moment have no way of converting those assets into a cash or cash equivalent at this moment, and you don't have line of sight or any horizon into when you will be able to convert those assets into cash. As far as liabilities go, my family doesn't have any liabilities at this moment, which we're super lucky. We don't have any debt. We don't have credit card debt, housing debt, any debt, car loans, nothing. So, granted, we don't have any cars or a house, so there's that. But that makes this equation a little bit easier. For us, we're just going to be adding together all of our assets. And just a disclaimer, I don't normally just walk around knowing these numbers off the top of my head. They live in a spreadsheet somewhere. But for the sake of this video, here are our numbers. The sum of all of our liquid assets is $112,726. So that includes retirement fund, high yield savings accounts, checking accounts, health savings accounts, and college fund. Maybe a couple other savings accounts in there. But if you sum them all together, add them all up, you get $112,726. Yeah, some of those accounts we would incur a fee if we tried to withdraw money from them, but relatively speaking, we could get that money fairly quickly if we needed to. Now on the flip side, we have illiquid assets of $1,787,454, and that is a lot more than our liquid assets, obviously, if you take a look at it, but that 100% is an asset that is the company I work for, equity in that company. So obviously there's a huge difference there, and the illiquid asset means that I don't have a way of selling that asset. Basically, it's a privately held company and there's no way for us to sell it right now. The only way we could sell it in the future is if the company I work for buys the shares from us, or other investors, either we go public or we get acquired, or an outside third-party investor comes in and buys the shares from me or my family. So if you add those two together, you get that my family's total net worth is $1,900,180, as you see in the title of this video. So if you're asking yourself, how did you become a millionaire by age 28 with a family of 3 living on a salary of $65,000 in San Francisco? Well, the real answer is 5 years ago, I took some significant career risk and joined a startup. When I joined the startup, I asked for a compensation package that was heavy on the equity side instead of the take-home pay side. And since then, we have lived within that salary and actually saved 30% of our salary and put it towards savings, so that accounts for the liquid component of our net worth. When I say I took on a huge career risk, it's hard for me to really quantify that risk, and I don't really quantify it now. I didn't really quantify it when I started, because the reality was I was at a crossroads in my career. I had been working in a sales and project management role for the past 2 years right out of college, and I was ready for a change. I'd always had my heart set on starting my own business, and not just any business. I wanted to start a business that was highly scalable, that had amazing unit economics, was going to be very profitable, and was going to make an impact and a difference in the users' lives, the users of the product of the business that I was going to create. And if you put those three things together, you may guess it, that typically falls under a tech business. So I wanted to start a tech business, but I had no background in technology. I had tried to start a few tech projects in the past, but had failed. So without much vision for a product that I wanted to build, and lacking on confidence that I could even execute on building my own tech business, I decided I wanted to get as close to starting as I possibly could. And I wanted to join a tech business, and I wanted to just be in that and learn as much as possible. Now, if you're quantifying risk, I was 23 years old, not married, I had no debt, $10,000 in savings. I was in a pretty good position to take significant financial and career risk at this point in my life. As I look back on the past 5 years and why I even started at the company 5 years ago with the aspirations of really just learning as much as possible, both personally and professionally, there's a ton of stuff that I learned along the way. I'll make a whole nother video about that in the future, but for now, one of the things that sticks out is that I learned I don't really have aspirations, at least right now, and what I thought when I joined the company. I don't have aspirations anymore to start a really big company. I have aspirations to start a company, a smaller company, probably one that I can stay more intimately involved in on the day-to-day operations, one that doesn't involve lots of layers of management and scaling up to a huge size in order to be considered successful. And secondly, the thing I've learned along the way is how important a strong mission is within the company that you're starting. It's fine to say that you want to start a company that optimizes shopping or delivers ads to people or whatever, but you're going to struggle with hiring world-class talent. And if you really prioritize having a strong mission and being a mission-driven company, that really alleviates some of your core responsibility as you're starting a company, which is hiring world-class talent. So between those two lessons, even if it was just those two, I think that it would have been worth it over the past 5 years, but there are many more lessons I've taken away, and I'll go into detail on those, like I mentioned, in another video. Of course, besides the personal growth, there was always a little bug in my mind saying, oh, your equity may be worth millions of dollars, and here I am today with it worth millions of dollars, 1.7 million on paper. But even taking that into consideration, I really feel like at this point in my life that the most important lesson that I'm going to be taking away from the past 5 years is just the learning to live within your means, even if your means are $65,000 per year in San Francisco. And that lesson really translates to, for me and my family, we've come to this understanding that anytime you try to satiate your wants or try to fulfill every want that you could possibly have, it's really a fool's game that it doesn't end well. It doesn't lead to a fulfilled life for us anyways. It hasn't led to happiness and feelings of overwhelming relief and joy. Instead, it just leads to stress and wanting to do more and more, and there's always more and more wants and so on. And so just that lesson of learning to live within your means and restricting your income to such a degree that you have to focus on just your needs and restrict all of your wants predominantly, or find alternatives to your wants, has been such an important lesson to my family. I'm almost to the point that anytime I try to use money to get myself to feel a certain way, either happy or fulfilled or successful, whether that's buying stuff, buying experiences, buying food, or trying to win more money through investing or gambling, requiring money to fulfill some sort of desire has always ended up to be a net negative experience when you look at it at the end of the day for me and my family. Now, that's just to say if the company that I work for now goes to zero and my equity becomes worthless, I still think we leave the past 5 years net positive from a financial standpoint. Now, that's not to say we wouldn't be excited if there is an opportunity in the future to liquidate our equity and it turns into millions of dollars. And if you would like a video talking about what our plans are, if that were to happen, feel free to comment down below. I'll try to make one of those. We've already discussed what our plans are, and I'm happy to share those with you guys. So technically speaking, yes, we are millionaires, though we may not spend like millionaires right now. You better believe I'm gonna be using that term millionaires on this channel in the future with some clickbait titles to help grow the community. But really, I hope this video was helpful, giving you some perspective on what it's like to have a significant amount of your net worth tied up in an illiquid asset. And if you're part of a startup, or if you're thinking of joining a startup and equity is part of your compensation, or whatever the case may be, if you have any questions, feel free to comment down below. Like I said, invite your friends, your family, anybody who you think would like to join us on this journey and be part of the community. Invite them to subscribe, and as always, get some of that free 99 like button down below. I'll see you in a few days, guys.